Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope that you are feeling well and excited to learn something new today. We are going to learn about multiplications of whole numbers, fractions, and mixed numbers. You have already learned this topic in Mathematica, right? So it must be easy for you to learn about this. Are you ready to study now? Please prepare your mathematics textbook and stationery. Before we start our lesson, let's pray together. Bless God, let your blessing go with me today, and grant that I may be obedient to my teachers and may learn with pleasure whatever I am taught. Amen. In our last meeting, we learned about addition and subtractions of mixed numbers. And I'm so happy that you did great in the last assignment. Thank you. I hope you can do so for this lesson because multiplying fractions is super easy. In fact, it is easier than adding fractions. In this chapter, we are going to learn product of fractions and a whole number. Product of two fractions and product of a mixed number and a whole number. After learning this lesson, you are expected to be able to multiply a proper or improper fraction by a whole number, multiply a proper fraction by a proper fraction or an improper fraction, multiply two improper fractions, and multiply a mixed number by a whole number. Okay, now let's start our discussion about product of a fraction and a whole number. Please open your math textbook page 71. Are you ready? Good. Of each of the following. Now, we are going to discuss part B. 4 out of 7 of 35. It means 4 out of 7 times 35. How do we express 35 as a fraction? Very well. We can express 35 out of 1 because 35 is a whole number. So, 4 out of 7 of 35 is equal to 4 out of 7 times 35 out of 1. You can simplify the fractions before multiplying them by dividing the numerators and denominators by the same numbers or their common factors. Are there any numerators and denominators that can be divided by the same numbers or factors? Yes, the denominator 7 of the first fraction and the numerator 35 of the second fraction have a common factor that is 7. So, they can be divided by 7. Exactly. 35 divided by 7 equals 5. Cross out 35 and write 5. 7 divided by 7 equals 1. Cross out 7 and write 1. Now, what is the next step? Fantastic! Multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. What is 4 times 5? 20. Good job. Next, what is 1 times 1? 1. So, what is the product of 4 out of 7 and 35? 20 out of 1. Very good. Or you can just write 20. How is multiplication of fractions different from addition or subtraction of fraction? Good job! In the multiplication of fraction, we do not need to answer that the denominators are the same before multiplying them. Instead, you can directly multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. Easy, right? Now, what if we have a problem like this? 35 times 4 out of 7. Answer the same as the previous one? Let's find out. 35 times 4 out of 7. How do we express 35 as a fraction? Great! 35 out of 1. 35 out of 1 times 4 out of 7. Are there any numerators and denominators that can be divided by the same numbers or factors? Yes, the numerator 35 of the first fraction and the denominator 7 of the second fraction have a common factor, that is 7. So, they can be divided by 7. Absolutely. 35 divided by 7 equals 5. Cross out 35 and write 5. 7 divided by 7 equals 1. Cross out 7 and write 1. Now, what is the next step? Fantastic! Multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. What is 4 times 5? 20. Good job. What about 1 times 1? 1. Very good. So, what is the product of 35 and 4 out of 7? 20 out of 1, or you can just write 20. So, is 4 out of 7 times 35 the same as 35 times 4 out of 7? Exactly. Commutative property of multiplication applies to the multiplication of both whole numbers and fractions. Do you understand so far? Okay, now let's move to page 74 to discuss about product of two fractions. Are you ready? Good. Let's move to page 77. Try 1A. Let's read together, everyone. Multiply. Express your answer in its simplest form. Look, we have two proper fractions. 1 out of 2 and 1 out of 4. What should we do with the fractions? Exactly. You can directly multiply the numerators together and the denominators together. So, what is 1 times 1? 1. Nice. Next, what is 2 times 4? 8. Brilliant. So, what is the product of 1 out of 2 and 1 out of 4? 1 out of 8. Good job! Now, how about try to part B? We have improper and proper fraction. 7 out of 6 times 3 out of 4. Are there any numerators and denominators that can be divided by the same numbers or factors? Yes, the numerator 3 and the denominator 6 have a common factor that is 3. So, they can be divided by 3. Well done. 3 divided by 3 equals 1. Cross out 3 and write 1. Next, what is 6 divided by 3? 2. Right. Cross out 6 and write 2. Are there another numerator and denominator with the common factor? Look, can 2 and 4 be simplified or divided by their common factor? No, because both of them are denominators. What we can simplify is a pair of numerator and denominator instead of a pair of denominators or a pair of numerators, although they have common factors. Now, what is the next step? Fantastic! Multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. So, what is 7 times 1? 7. Super. What about 2 times 4? 8. Very good. So, 7 out of 6 times 3 out of 4 equals 7 out of 8. Can the product be simplified further? No. Well done. Remember, if the answer is an improper fraction, we have to express it as a mixed number. Very easy, isn't it? Let's move to page 79. How about try 1B, part A? The way is the same as the previous one. What are the numerators and denominators with the common factors? The numerator 6 of the first fraction and the denominator 9 of the second fraction have a common factor, that is 3. So we can divide them by 3. Then, what is 6 divided by 3? 2. Cross out 6 and write 2. Next, what is 9 divided by 3? 3. Cross out 9 and write 3. Aren't these all the numerator and denominator that we have? No, we still have the other ones. They are the denominator 5 of the first fraction and the numerator 10 of the second fraction. Do you think they have a common factor? Yes, right. They have 5 as the common factor. So, we can divide them by 5. What is 5 divided by 5? 1. Amazing. Cross out 5 and write 1. What is 10 divided by 5? 2. Smart. Cross out 10 and write 2. What are the next steps? Good job. Multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. What is 2 times 2? 4. Nice. What about 1 times 3? 3. Correct. So, what is the product of 6 out of 5 and 10 out of 9? 4 out of 3. Good job. Is it a proper fraction? No. Then, you have to express the product as a mixed number in its simplest form. So we can write 4 out of 3 as 1, 1 out of 3. Do you understand so far? Okay, now let's move to page 81 to discuss product of a mixed number and a whole number. Are you ready? Good. Let's move to page 82. Look at try 1A part A. 2, 1 out of 3 times 3. When multiplying a mixed number by a whole number, we can first express the mixed number as an improper fraction. So, 2, 1 out of 3 can be expressed as 7 out of 3. And we can write 3 as 3 out of 1. Now, what are the numerators and denominators with the common factor? The denominator 3 of the first fraction and the numerator 3 of the second fraction have a common factor, that is 3. What do we do next? Divide them by their common factor, that is 3. Are there another numerator and denominator with a common factor? No. Fantastic. Now that we have simplified the fractions, what are the next steps? Good job! Multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. So, what is 7 times 1? 7. Nice. Next, what is 1 times 1? 1. Good job. Then, what is the product of 2 out of 3 and 3? 7 out of 1. Or we can simplify, write 7. How about try 1B part B? You can use the same way as the previous one. First, express the mixed number as an improper fraction. So, 2, 3 out of 5 can be expressed as 13 out of 5. And we can write 4 as 4 out of 1. Now, what are the numerators and denominators with the common factors? None of them. So, what do we do next? Good job. Multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. Then, what is 4 times 13? 52. Nice. Next, what is 1 times 5? 5. Good job. So, the product of 4 and 2, 3 out of 5 is 52 out of 5. As it is not a proper fraction, then you have to express the product as a mixed number in its simplest form. So we can write 52 out of 5 as 10, 2 out of 5. Well, that's all for today. To have better understanding about this lesson, please do some practices in your math workbook on pages 51, 53, and 56. If you have any difficulties, you can ask me directly through Google Classroom. Do your best, capture your work clearly, convert it into PDF, and send it to me through Google Classroom. Thank you for your attention. See you in the next class. Have a great time.